This is Kanzenshuu, the podcast, episode 453 for the week of September 9th, 2018. Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. Well, welcome back to Kanzenshuu,
the podcast,
an extension of the all-encompassing Dragon Ball fan site.
Daizentai EX.
Close enough. We cover anything and everything Dragon Ball in hopes of enlightening and a little bit of entertaining. Hey, it's been a hot minute since we did one of these. This week on the show, we are going to be as cool and collected and casual and chatty, and I've ran out of C words as possible. My name is Mike. You may see me as Vegito EX. I'm here in New Jersey, also here in New Jersey, but in a more different part of New Jersey. We have like the extended family here on Kanzenshuu, the podcast. Sean, you may see him as Kaboom. How are things?
Not too bad. I've been, I brought my PS4 up to my bedroom so I could play Spider-Man 4 uninterrupted all weekend. Not Spider-Man 4, Spider-Man PS4. See? Not know how words work.
Right. That's wonderful for a podcast. Jumping across large oceans. Again, I say the extended family. Stacey, you're in Japan.
Yes, I am still in Japan. I was actually supposed to be coming home this very evening. I would have been on a plane right now, but because of the typhoon last week, my flight was canceled. So
awesome.
Here I am. I came to Japan this summer to do like a intensive study, I suppose, since I wanted to up my Japanese level, and it's hard to do that while trying to also work and live daily life. So I decided, screw it, I'm going to Japan this summer to get hardcore study time.
That seems to be the Kanzenshuu way. It's correct. I'm going over there.
Yes.
I'm falling right in line. Excellent. So, like I said, we're just going to be chatting things out this episode, maybe catch up on a little news, talk about what's going on the website, but I just want to talk with people and get back into the flow of a podcast. So here we go. This is what we're doing. Well, I say all that, and then I kind of want to cover the most important piece of news probably over the last month or so, and it's another downer here. So now that we're all excited and having a good time recording a podcast, I am sorry to report and say that Unshō Ishizuka passed away from esophageal cancer. He was the new voice of Mr. Satan in the Dragon Ball franchise. He actually took over. It was at a weird point where they were working on Dragon Ball Kai in Japan before it actually broadcast, or rather got to that point. And then the PSP video game Tag Versus, which we got as Tenkaichi Tag Team, is actually the first place that the new voice, Ishizuka, popped up. So he's been playing Mr. Satan for the better part of the last decade. He really slipped into that role following the passing of Daisuke Gori many years back. And this is like... it's been a tough year for this. I still haven't gotten around to doing the Hiromi Suru kind of, I don't know what I want to call it, but just kind of like remembrance podcast episode. It's been such a raw thing to think about. It's hard to plan. And then Ishizuka follows up on that. It's like, man, I just welcomed you into my Dragon Ball heart, and I've lost that. Sean, let me ask you, Ishizuka, what do you think about his performance as Mr. Satan? As short a time as it was, I mean, it was Kai, but then we also got into the new movies and into Super and everything. So he's been there.
I think he did a pretty good job filling in the role. From what I can remember hearing, wasn't quite a Daisuke Gori impression or anything, but
yeah, exactly.
He pulled off the role fairly well. If I were a more superstitious person, I'd start to think this is like a cursed role or something.
I know. That's pretty tough. Yeah, it didn't seem like an impression. I don't think that would have been the right way to go with that role. I think they looked for someone with a similar cadence to their voice, I suppose. It was maybe a few months, year back or so, when I was doing a Bebop rewatch. Ishizuka plays Jet in Cowboy Bebop, and there was actually an episode, I think it was in Bebop, where Daisuke Gori plays another character, and the two of them were talking side by side. Kind of weirded me out a little bit hearing them converse. Stacey, what do you think, Ishizuka?
Yeah, I agree. I think he did a good job with the role. Maybe not as much as Daisuke Gori, but he also played roles such as Joseph Joestar,
right.
And those famous "holy shit" and such. So definitely be missed.
I know he was Japanese Professor Oak too.
Yeah,
or Ukido.
Yeah. he's been around for a long time. I mean, I've heard him, I want to say I heard him in Fist of the North Star too, as I've been going back and rewatching things. I mean, he's been there forever. And he was a new voice in the Dragon Ball realm. I really think he stepped up and did what he needed to do and had to do. I noted this in the post when we announced his passing. It was a quote from 2014 in V-Jump when they were talking about the Buu arc of Dragon Ball Kai. And it was a joint interview with Ishizuka and Kozo Shioya, who played Buu. Shioya said, "When the recording for Kai started right off the bat, I asked who's going to play Satan. Then I learned that Ishizuka-san was going to play him, and I was incredibly happy." I mean, we talked about this when Gori passed. Yuko Minaguchi wrote a blog post where she effectively said, "I don't know if I want to keep playing Videl if Daisuke Gori can't be there as my character's father's voice." He had been,
yeah, I remember that.
He had been such an integral part of the series, and it's been a tough year for the Dragon Ball fandom and the voices. So I wanted to give my thanks and my appreciation to Ishizuka. Maybe we can do something more in the future. It's just like these come so hard and fast. Like I don't know how to react to them when something like this happens, and the best we can do is just, I guess, report it and give our thanks and our appreciation for something like that.
And hopefully we won't have to keep doing it too often.
No, let's bring 2018 to a close. Like I'm super done with 2018 at this point. I'm pretty much every conceivable level. All right, let's talk about happier things. I do want to mention Super Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime. We are not going to review the ongoing episodes of it, kind of in line with what we did with Kai and Super when those started, where we did like an initial episode check-in. We did a similar thing, although we ended up talking more about the history of Dragon Ball Heroes than we did that first episode, which is probably appropriate. So we're going to wait until it's done before we review it in full. But I guess let's note that episode 3 went up on September 6th, and episode 4 is due out later this month. So while we're not going to review these episodes, let me get some quick thoughts. Stacey, what do you think about Super Dragon Ball Heroes?
It sure is a thing that exists. It just seems like weird fan service and not the type that I like. So I don't really care about it, honestly. I haven't even watched the 3rd episode yet, actually.
Oh, jeez.
But it's like, oh yeah, it came out. I guess since I'm in Japan, I could actually watch it on the site, I suppose, since I'm in the right region, but
wow, it says a lot when you're in Japan and you don't even have to do any shenanigans to watch it. You're like, you know what? Maybe not.
Yeah.
All right, Sean, what do you think? Please tell me you've watched at least one episode.
No, she's got me beat there. I forgot it existed. I don't think I've even thought about it since the last podcast episode you had.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Where you talked about the first episode and just.
Well, to be fair, that's part of the, I don't know if I want to call it a problem with this, where we got 2 episodes 1 month, and then we went a month with no episodes, and now we're going to have another month with 2 episodes in it. It's not a consistent thing. It's not a bi-weekly thing. It's not a monthly thing. It's I guess we're ready, and I guess this is going to coincide with the latest patch to the arcade version of the game, and all right.
Sporadic whenever they feel like it kind of thing.
Yeah, I can't actually figure out what the... like if there's any intent to the timing. Initially it seemed to be tied to events, and then episode 3 wasn't really tied to anything. Episode 4 doesn't really, other than the upcoming Universe Mission 4, I think, update it is. And they are following Yoshitaka Nagayama's manga in Saikyo Jump. I mean, it's in the opening credits. Like, that's the source material for this. God, explaining this stuff is truly bizarre.
True fans read the manga instead.
It's true. It's totally true. It actually is. God, it actually is better in the manga. Like, are we going there? I guess we are.
It seems to be a rule of thumb. The manga version's better, and it's just like...
oh, jeez.
I'm sure just hearing that, a few people are starting to fume at the ears.
But the power scaling!
Excuse me, Mr. Sean. I would like to tell you... I don't know what they're going to tell you about, because I don't follow these arguments, but they have strong thoughts that they would like to share with you. Anyway, I don't really have anything else to say about Super Dragon Ball Heroes right now, other than Cumber.
Yep.
Yes.
Cumber.
So, next up on the hit parade here, let's talk about New York Comic Con, because they got Masako Nozawa coming to New York. This is
Ooh, baby.
This is exciting.
Now this I heard about.
Oh, really? Are you going to go?
I don't know.
Oh.
I just started making money. I don't think I have convention trip money.
Okay. So they have announced Masako Nozawa. You may have heard of this individual before. But in addition, we have Tatsuya Nagamine, the Dragon Ball Super Broly theatrical film director. They're going to be coming for a panel at the event on October 5th. Also, Sean Schemmel's going to be there.
Who?
Oh, you guys. I guess I can say Julian and I are going to be at New York Comic Con. Yep, those are words. I totally screwed up that announcement. Julian and I are going to be at New York Comic Con. We're not doing anything special in particular. We're just going to be there as press covering things. So I'm very excited to see this. This is the thing. Was it last year? I think it was last year. I didn't put in for it. I was like, there's nothing going on there. And then shortly before the event, they announced Toyotaro was going to be there. I'm like, son of a bitch. I should have just... So this year, I put in not knowing anything, but hoping and anticipating. And there we go. So I won this time. So Nagamine, Stacey, you've translated some things from Nagamine recently.
Yes.
I guess let's mention that real quick. You've got a couple interviews. I mean, because it's been so long since I've had a podcast episode. Actually, the flow of time doesn't make sense to me right now. What are some of the interviews that you translated from the official site recently?
There was an interview with Nagamine about the new movie that's coming up. You may have heard about later this year. I've seen posters for it around Japan as well.
Nice.
But yeah, he had a nice long interview where he talked about what he wants to do with the Dragon Ball movie. Like, there were some especially interesting parts about how he wants to break away kind of from the set image that Dragon Ball has, and he wants to give it a new, updated look with letting the animators kind of do what they feel like instead of telling them that, oh, you have to do it this way because that's how this type of scene has always been done before.
That sounds very different from other people we've heard in charge of this franchise. It's so curious to me because all of those things sound like the most amazing. I don't want to say innovative, but like, yeah, it's about time that someone's coming in and saying that kind of thing. And what are they doing? They're doing it with Broly. Again, I go back to like everything is the most safe decision they could possibly do with these outlandish, not truly outlandish, like actual normal progressive statements. All backed on top of Broly. I can't wait to see what this is going to be, just because I'm having such a hard time wrapping my head around it. Like everything that I see and everything that I hear sounds great. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Like, once I heard it was Broly, I'm like, oh god, why? Damn you, Dragon Ball Room, for deciding to go with what's popular overseas. But yeah, all of the interviews and stuff sound very promising, and well, the most promising of all is that Toriyama's doing his version of Broly, so maybe there will be something more to the character rather than just screaming Kakarot the whole time.
Why are American millennials ruining Dragon Ball? News at 11. All right, I think that's pretty much all there is to talk about there. I don't know, we got from Comic-Con to Nagamine to millennials. That's how we go in the show. Let's talk about some video game stuff. Sean, you playing Xenoverse at all?
No, I haven't been playing it lately mainly because I couldn't afford the new DLC when it came out. But
they keep popping it out here.
Yeah. What did I buy a season pass for? But
well, that season is complete, and now they are into a post season.
Yeah,
I really, really think they did not expect to go this far into it. And I'm really curious how fighters figured into the, let's just keep giving this a long tail while we work on this over here and work on whatever the next thing is over there. And what stuff they're putting in here now was in works for a theoretical Xenoverse 3. Instead, let's do it as DLC over here. And now I'm like, with all these characters they've added as DLC that you anticipate will be just freely available in whatever the next game is, who's going to be left for them to do as DLC moving forward. But all right, so let's catch up a little bit. We are on to the pack 7. We have Kefla and Super Baby 2. So we've got Dragon Ball Super and we have Dragon Ball GT representation now. That pack is out. I believe it was a slightly reduced price over previous stuff. It's like $7, maybe $8. They did have some issues. It seems like they have issues every time they put out a patch with Xenoverse 2. This time it broke the licensing for the anime music pack. If you had purchased that, it seems people were no longer able to access the music they paid for when this patch came out. But it seems as of a day or so ago that maybe that had finally been resolved. Also, Toa's got a bathing suit now, so you can see what Xenoverse is up to. Do you think they looked over at fighters like, wait, you've got your sexy waifu. We can one-up that. We're going to put ours in a bathing suit. I don't know.
What? Sorry, what? I was checking Steam for something.
Oh, really? See, how much do I have in my Steam wallet? Can I do this right now? Yeah, Xenoverse is in a very interesting place right now.
Yeah, and the thing they keep doing with these new character packs, and I keep noticing they include one character from Super that I don't really care about, but then they'll have one or two other characters from something else that I do care about. They're trying to rope me in.
Exactly. They know that.
Mean, I couldn't give two craps about Kefla, but you could put baby Vegeta in there.
It's been really fun hearing his voice pop up again as we've been doing the GT review here. I'm like, it's very contemporary to me. On a very personal level right now. So I kind of feel like I should go. I haven't picked up this latest pack. I know there's some story stuff in there too. I had finished up all the story content in the previous packs finally, and then I intended to do a podcast about it, and then I got distracted with other fighters stuff. So that didn't happen. But I feel like at this point I've waited so long. I'm basically just going to do a Xenoverse 2 post-mortem when it's announced to actually be done. Every time I feel like, okay, Xenoverse 2 is done, let's do a pack. Oh, all right, I guess you're still going.
Or when Xenoverse 3 gets announced.
Yeah, at that point, I feel like maybe I can talk about it then. I feel like my thoughts are well known on Xenoverse at this point, though. I just want to mention fighters again real quick. We already knew that Kula was going to be coming. They put out the same video as before, but then kind of like the formal reveal with like the lobby character and the alternate colors and all that stuff. But then they did announce that he will be coming the end of September. So that's actually rather soon. And alongside him will be one more fighter rounding out the 8 characters in the Fighters Season Pass. Pretty much anticipate it being number 17, likely the Ranger version of him. I'm excited for this. Kula looks pretty cool. He flies through a Kamehameha, so that's everything I need.
Yeah. I may when I pick Fighters back up again, I just like Dragon Quest. That's another one I'm going to get on Switch.
Go and Switch on that one. Yeah, that's out this month.
I'm kind of glad I didn't spring for any of the DLC when I had it on PS4.
I know, it's like I want to pick up Fighters on all the consoles, platforms, PC in particular. I'm like, well, I already paid for the DLC over there. It's like, all right, so I guess I'll just wait for the biggest sale possible, but by that point a sequel will probably be, I don't know. I have a problem. Anyway, Vegeta is going to be in Jump Force. All right, so we're done with video game stuff. Let's talk about the Dragon Ball Super manga very briefly. Volume 7 just came out in Japan. That covers chapters 33 to 36. And just for reference, chapter 40 is out this month in VJump. So they are catching up in the collected edition. We're 3 collected volumes into 2018 now. And I feel like they could get one more in. And then we're very close to Heath's prediction where he thought we'd do 6 volumes in a year to catch up. Volume 4 is due out in America in January. And then also, by the way, Yamcha is due out in November. Stacey, you may know a thing or two about the Yamcha manga, huh?
Yeah. Not that I illegally translated it when it came out or anything. But
at least you didn't use Comic Sans.
Yeah.
Look, not in the actual text itself on the inside, just on the outside. Oh, man,
it's enough.
I definitely have. I say a lot of I have thoughts, and then I don't go into what those thoughts are. It's my way of getting around, not actually backing up the things that I want to say. But I have thoughts about the way that Yamcha is treated in marketing. Both Toei and Shueisha are not at fault for this kind of thing too. The Yamcha manga is interesting. Stacey, I feel like Dragon Garo Lee, it was very much in earnest. It wasn't like, yeah, it was funny and there were jabs at things, but it felt very genuine in how he treated the character, right?
Yeah, I agree. That's why I kind of liked it, because I do like Yamcha as a character, so to see everyone always like, aha, Yamcha, he's a loser and all that. It's like, it was nice to see. I mean, yeah, even if the concept of the manga is that, oh shit, I'm Yamcha, that means I'm gonna die. But then the kid who was reincarnated, it's like, oh wait, but I can change Yamcha's fate, so I'm gonna
well, to a certain point.
The best Yamcha. Yeah, I'll try to change Yamcha's fate as much as possible, but in the end, well, he still doesn't get the girl, but he at least survives the battle that made him a meme.
In the end, it's a crummy commercial, but be that as it may.
I thought basically the same way. It was nice to have Yamcha, or some other kid in Yamcha's body, get the spotlight once in a while in a good light, instead of just oh, look at him, here he is in a crater. It's a fun excursion and something different.
I'd like to see more things from Dragon Garo Lee in the future as well.
I'd like to see more English translated things from Viz, honestly.
Just in general. We know it's available. SD has been getting a release. Oh, God, was it in Germany or Italy? I can't, or maybe it was Spain, or maybe some combination thereof. And also Toriyama's one-shot collections were getting releases, I believe, from Carlsen. This stuff is on the table. I don't know what the issue is or hang up is, or some kind of underlying thought processes behind not bringing some of this stuff out, but I will continue to bang the drum for Kajika needing an official English release, as I recently did a reread on it.
You think like a big omnibus like Toriyama collection thing would be viable from Viz?
Maybe.
If they decided to do it?
Yeah, maybe some kind of more curated thing rather than the Blank Piece Theater as it is, the 3 volumes there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some things in there that would do better than other things. Kajika's a full collected tankobon in and of itself, so I mean that could come there. But we've had like Sandland that even got in Viz's original Shonen Jump magazine. Like, the stuff is available. It's the other ancillary stuff I'm most curious about. Like SD, we know that's available, but what about stuff like Super Dragon Ball Heroes? That's the thing that's propping up a marketing machine we don't have over here. So as I've always said, like, what's its point if it's not a part of that ongoing marketing machine? I don't know. I feel like there's an interest in this stuff, and I'm really curious what Bandai Namco is thinking with Dragon Ball Heroes right now. The way we have this promo anime, and the way we had an English version of Dragon Ball Heroes at San Diego Comic-Con, and oh, by the way, maybe we're not going to bring it to the rest of the stops. Oh, and those 4 cards that you could get there to play in the English version are now some of the most rare pieces of Dragon Ball merchandise. The collection of 4 cards, I think, is going for like $500 regularly on eBay right now. I don't know if anyone's buying them, but just by virtue of them being at one location at one point in time, that was the only place you could get those cards. I mean, those are just going to go down as some of the rarest pieces of Dragon Ball merchandise, which is amazing and hysterical and weird. Just as someone who's been living on eBay recently, I figured I would let people know about that little tidbit of knowledge. That's kind of all the newsy stuff I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about some website going ons, but let's just chat for just a little bit more here. Stacey, since you're in Japan, I know you're coming back soon, but maybe tell us a little bit about the atmosphere with the movie over there. You're seeing posters. What kind of other advertising and tie-ins and other things are you seeing right now? And what does the general feeling seem to be?
Yeah, I've seen around movie theaters, they have the posters and advertisements for buying like pre-sale tickets. Also at a lot of the like anime figure stores and stuff, they have like banners also with the image from the poster with Goku and the Nyoibo. And even in some of the shops where they have like a TV, I've seen them playing the movie preview as well. So it seems like it's definitely very visible. Yeah, even at regular places like movie theaters. I mean, of course you get more of it if you go into like actual anime shops and stuff, but
sure.
Yeah, and then there seems to be the amount of figures and merchandise and stuff seems similar to previous trips I've been, though there are some interesting tie-ins. Like recently, I saw some advertisements for these Dragon Ball scratch cards, like gambling with Dragon Ball. Yeah. It's like, I'm considering if I want to buy one of those just as like very unique merchandise to bring back with me.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like, you wouldn't have that in America. You can't use a kid's show to advertise gambling.
Hey,
but
kids.
Then again, yeah. But then I guess Japan is full of pachinko parlors that have like original anime created for the machine.
Oh, they do. Have you seen some of this stuff, like the new Ranma animations and things?
Yeah.
Or to say Yatsuro's got new animation. Oh, but it's for a pachinko machine.
Yeah, that's always like, I always call like bullshit. It's like, oh, this looks awesome. I want to watch this. Like, oh, it's for a pachinko machine.
And remember, you don't trade in your prize right there at the pachinko parlor. Yes. You go next door and you trade in your balls for tickets, which can then be traded in.
Yes.
It's not illegal.
Yeah.
Or a Porygon if you got enough.
Gambling is illegal, but if you go enough steps around it, then it becomes not illegal anymore.
Love it.
That's the way Japan works.
Isn't that actually how it works in Pokemon too? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah. Half the time the prize centers were in the building next door. Until they changed it to Voltorb flip.
Yeah. Well, now kids, if you didn't know that, that's where they came from.
Yep.
All right, that's cool. All right, who else wants to talk about what? The floor is open. Anything, like if you've seen something going on online, if you see, like you just want to get something off your chest, if you watched, I don't know, like Dragon Ball episode 32 yesterday and you just want to talk about that, I don't care. What do you got?
I think I'm going to go see Broly, the new movie. When they first announced it was going to be Broly again.
I think I'm going to go see it. John, it's a new Dragon Ball movie. What are you talking about?
Yeah. See, when I was really, really disappointed when they just announced that it was just going to be Broly again.
Yeah.
But honestly, this new art style is almost single-handedly, overcome that. I still want to see it just for that. I'm sure my sister and her fiance will want to go see it all together as a group.
Nice, do a little group thing. All right.
Like we did for Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. So,
well, okay. So speaking of that, are you going to go see? Because, over here in America, they're playing the Broly movie, I think, like this week, and then Bardock and movie 12 at some point later, too. Are you going to go see those theatrical showings?
What, in English? Hell no.
Well, I mean, we can talk about Bardock in particular. I mean, that's... All right, so for those who don't know, the Bardock TV special was originally dubbed back in 2000, initially as Funimation brought things back in-house, and the DVD releases started in 2000. Remember, season 3 started in 99 and the DVDs actually came the next year. It felt like 20 years at the time, but it was crazy to me to think about that. 2000, we started getting the Ginyu DVDs, and then we actually got Trunks and then Bardock. The Bardock TV specials English dub script is, I don't know, what would you say, Sean, like 10% accurate?
How blunt do you want me to be?
I mean, it's Kanzenshuu, and people, they know what they're here for. Do it.
It's a complete and utter crap fest. Is that blunt enough?
It's fair. It's accurate. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
It is quite possibly the single worst Dragon Ball dub they ever did.
Funimation, yeah, I think so, because it's one of those things where, when they're doing their script punching up, it's obvious what they're doing. Like when it's an intentional thing. The Bardock TV special dub just seems to be like a... Steve is here translating things, but apparently he's not going to translate this, even though we're going to release it on DVD roughly alongside I don't remember if the VHS.
Yeah.
No, the VHSs came out first before the DVDs did. I don't think it was simultaneous. I guess there's a website that could tell me this kind of thing. Look, I'm trying to remember 20 years ago at this point. I guess 18 years ago. The Bardock TV special, man, like they were just kind of guessing what was going on screen and just whatever.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I've usually put it. Like, it feels like they hadn't.
Nothing.
I know for the dub itself, they had like really sketchy translations that were just
they've
half
always
nonsense, and they had to
sure they've always talked about that. But if you compare it even to the the contemporary TV episodes of the day. The TV stuff was leagues ahead of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll ever get the
it
true
feels
story.
like for Bardock, they didn't even have that. It feels like they almost had to completely guess based on nothing more than a handful of character names.
Exactly. Yeah.
They didn't even get the character names right. They renamed a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I mean, I think Toma's the only one who got called by name in the actual special.
No, wasn't he Tora instead? Oh, you mean in Japanese? In Japanese.
Yeah, in Japanese. Like,
yeah.
So maybe that's why he ended up with the relatively closest name. I don't know.
Yeah, right. Sean, so, the movie 8 dub script is supposedly fairly accurate, though?
Not better enough. Just like, I have no reason to go see those ones in theaters, if not in English. I mean, I have them right here on my shelf on DVD. If I want to watch them, I'll watch them in Japanese.
Yeah.
With my discs. Sure.
I think for this, it's not for us. I mean, let's be clear here. But just a general screening, it's a group experience kind of thing. And I always do enjoy that. And I'm really conflicted. Like, should I take the time to go do it? I should probably, as someone who runs Kanzenshuu, I should take the time to go see one of my local screenings, just kind of see what the vibe is, maybe chat with people afterward. I feel like that's something I should do. So maybe I will, but if I'm going to do it, movie 8's probably what I would rather do it with. I do not want to see the Bardock special.
Yeah, although they are at least using the proper music for...
Yes, they did say they're using the original Japanese background music for...
That's good.
For this. So
that might make it tolerable. I don't know.
Movie 8 has some of my favorite music in the entire franchise.
Yeah, and I do, like everybody else who's caught on to this, I do think it's interesting, the 3 movies they picked, as supposedly as a precursor to the new Broly movie. They're showing Broly, they're showing Bardock, and then they're showing Fusion Reborn. So
everybody's sure that Gogeta's going to be in the movie.
But what they don't know is that Veku is going to be in the movie.
Oh, shit.
Who is actually still just called Gogeta.
Yeah, look, I understand that. However, I mean, that's tough, though. He does call himself Gogeta-sama, but which Kaio was it? Was it North Kaio that called him Veku?
No, it wasn't North Kaio. It was one of the other ones.
Not North. It was one of the other 3.
Like, that's not a Gogeta. That's more like a Viku.
Yeah. All right. So while we're talking about this is the thing that we're doing. We're talking about one thing, and I'm taking it in a totally different direction, because why the hell not? In my fan sub for movie 12, I'm fairly certain they got the Veku in there correctly. But mine was a movie 12. It wasn't Anime Labs movie 12, so I didn't quite get Paikuhan's cursing over the top. But I definitely had Instrument of Your Defeat in there. And Paikuhan was, using rough for him language. Where was I going with that? I was talking about, I want to talk about the name. In my fan sub of movie 12, Paikuhan, it was interesting. It was Pikehan. And I thought that was super, super strange. Like, as I'm watching it, I'm hearing, like, he's not saying Pikehan, he's saying Paikuhan. I don't know why they're writing it that way. And just in light of the Funimation's English dub renaming him as Pikon, which itself seems to be like a 3rd level removed bastardization of that name. I don't know how they quite got to that point, but
just like I know, like, trailing U sounds are sometimes considered extraneous. Maybe they...
Yeah,
but that one's an elongated oo, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, maybe they kind of missed a point with that one, like they did with Dabra.
I believe you're talking about Doubler.
Are you talking about Doubler?
Oh, Dragon Ball is stupid.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if, Gogeta ends up showing up in Broly. That would make it a little more worth seeing.
All right, we're gonna have the 20-second version of this conversation. Do we think that is actually what they're trying to tell us and what they're implying here?
I'd bet $5 on it. No more than that, though.
Okay, Stacey, what do you think?
I'll bet 5 yen.
Oh wow, big spender here.
I don't know. I don't really care, so it doesn't really matter to me if he shows up or not. But I don't know. I guess I don't know how likely I think it is. At this point, it could go either way.
Yeah,
I think it'd be fun. I like Gogeta. And it'll be interesting in a weird and frustrating kind of way to see all the, the exclamations of, oh, yay, Gogeta is canon now.
Well, a canon is defined as Webster's Dictionary defines canon. All right, I'm done. I'm fired. I'm firing myself here.
Canon is in the eye of the beholder.
Can you shoot cannons out of your eye? I don't know. I don't want to have the canon discussion, so I'm just saying absurd things. So that's how I get out of it. What else is going on? Anything you guys think is important in the Dragon world here in early September 2018?
I have no self-control, so I'm coming home with a whole bunch of new merchandise from Japan.
Awesome! I saw your, was it soy site and...
Hell, yes! Oh my god. Okay, it's not Dragon Ball related, but like, I never ever have found merchandise of Kunzite and Zoisite.
I was about to say Malika, and I'm like, wheel it back. I got it right.
Yes. But yeah, at one of these secondhand figure shops where people like sell their stuff like through consignment, there were the two of them, like it was like 2,000 yen each, so like a little bit under $20 each, and they're tiny figures, but it's like, I've never seen them before. I have to get it. I don't care at that. They're probably not even worth that price. I need it. The need is strong. And then what else do I have? I have a bunch of new rosés that are coming home with me as well. And
excuse me, ma'am. What do you have packed in that suitcase? A lot of rosé.
Lots of rosés, yes. A couple of merged Zamasus, which I'm happy to have. Well, though they're the weird melty version, so I'm not as happy, but oh well.
Is melty Zamasu going to go down in history alongside Bio Broly?
Yeah.
Can we just have melty characters? Like copy Vegeta kind of melting too? This is great.
Oh, yeah.
What do the kids say? Is that my aesthetic? Melty characters is my aesthetic.
Yeah. There's my first Ultra Instinct Goku. Woo. Because he was in a set with other characters, and I just bought the whole set. Like, okay, well now I have him as well. With silver hair. Yeah. I have this cool calendar that I got, which I found at the Jump store. This is the only place. Sometimes they have exclusive stuff there that you can't find at any of the other stores. Mm-hmm. But it's like an eternal calendar. So basically it doesn't have any years or months on it. It's just days. So there's pages from 1 to 31, and they each have different manga pages on them. So it's pretty cool. Huh. Right now, let's see, 10th, I'm looking at King Piccolo punching Goku in the face.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, tell me about the Jump Shop. Where is it? Where'd you go? What they have?
There's a few locations throughout Japan. This particular one was in Osaka, right next to Universal Studios, because my friend and I spent a day there. Yeah. It was actually really cool. I wish I could have been here when they had the Dragon Ball attraction, but that was like a couple of years ago. So the original anime things I was able to enjoy this time, where there was a Sailor Moon show and then a really awesome Evangelion ride where you had like a VR goggles while you were going on this roller coaster. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, yes, the Jump Shop was just a little store nearby where it's just like all different products from Jump properties. So like there was a lot of My Hero Academia, there's Dragon Ball, of course, stuff like Haikyuu and all sorts of series just in the little shop, and like both merchandise and like food products too. Like you could buy Senzu like candies or whatever and stuff, or what are they called? Like Daifuku with like different Jump characters on them. So yeah, it's a cool place to visit. Oh, I also got a little Frieza cable bite from that place.
I don't know. What is a cable bite?
So it's something that's like main purpose is to be just a cute thing, but it attaches to the end of like a phone charging cable.
Oh,
so like,
okay, gotcha.
So it looks like the character's biting onto your phone.
Got it. Okay, I've seen those.
Yeah, so
you got a Frieza one?
Yes, I have a Frieza on my charging cable now.
I feel like Goku would be the appropriate biting character.
I guess so. I wanted a Vegeta, but I didn't see one. I think there was one, but maybe they're sold out now. I just saw Goku and Frieza, and I decided to get Frieza in this case. Nice. There was also these Frieza marshmallows, too, that were like, yeah, it's just like little white marshmallows, but with his face printed on them.
I don't know how I feel about that. Squishy Frieza.
Yeah, squishy Friezas. Like a little Frieza mini trash can where like the top, like the purple part on the top of his head is the part that swings open.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally need one of those for the recording room here. I just have like a Target trash can down here. I need a Frieza one.
Yes. So yeah, as I said, yeah, there's lots of cool, unique stuff that you won't really find in the general like anime stores. It's only pretty much exclusive to the Jump stores. So yeah, there's a few locations around Japan. I've been to one in Tokyo before too. So if anyone's traveling Japan and they like Jump stuff, they should try to find a Jump shop near them.
Well, that's basically all I got. Let's do a little website check-in stuff. Stacey, as we mentioned, you did some of the movie website interview translations. Obviously, you're traveling soon, so you got some stuff going on. Is there anything else in your backlog that you feel like you want to get to?
I was working on some voice actor interviews, and then suddenly the interviews, the movie interview started coming out, and it's like, I guess I'll start working on that instead, since it's more pressing than stuff from a while back. So I was lucky to be in Japan because it gives me more time to work on translation stuff, basically returning to being a student rather than an adult with my full range of usual responsibilities.
You can tie it in like, oh, I am practicing, I am learning as I'm doing this.
Exactly. Yes. It's practicing, and I just have more time to do it while I'm here. So I'll try to see what I can finish before I leave in hopefully a few days, and maybe my flight's not canceled again.
Yeah, hopefully have some safe travels there. I want to mention the family name guide that I keep promising is going to be done. That is actually almost done. And I did promise it would be up in summer. And I know we're closing in on the end of summer here. So I guess I have a self-imposed deadline for that. So that's what I got going on. In addition to some wiki work, there's always wiki work going on. It's really tough trying to balance all the regular website news updates and guide work alongside the wiki work. And sometimes when they overlap, it's helpful. And sometimes when they overlap, it's really distracting from one of the other that I'm trying to finish up. So we got that going on. Sean, you're hanging out on the forum, keeping things clean.
Yep. AJ keeps beating me to the big reports, but I'm there.
That's good.
Obviously you and Stacey have a much more interesting fandom as of late than I do. Basically, all I've been doing is moderation on the forums and trying and failing to get my fanfic back underway.
Well, let me just add you over to the wiki editor category, and there you have.
I'm already in there.
Oh, damn it! Oh, well, I don't know. Go write a page.
Remember this whole thing where I was like afraid to touch anything?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I've never had done wiki editing before.
Look, if I'm safe in there, I think pretty much everyone else is safe in there. I haven't super broken things yet, only slightly.
I'll get there.
Well, that's what we got going on this year week. Like I said, it was going to be anything goes style on Kanzenshuu, the podcast, as we get back to doing things on a regular basis. I have a slew of topics I've been meaning to get to, and hopefully they will be coming your way in the near future. So that's that. Stacey, where can people find you? What's going on?
I'm on Twitter as @SailorSpaz, or really pretty much anywhere I am on the internet, it's always SailorSpaz. So if you want to find fanfics or Tumblr or anything, just look up SailorSpaz.
Sean, how about you?
I'm on Kanzenshuu all the time, obviously, as Kaboom. I'm also on Twitter as Kaboom Crusader with 2 Ks. So if you like stupid self-deprecating jokes and showing off things in video games, I guess you could follow me.
Wow, you sure are an internet dude.
Yeah, I sure am.
Let's see. I am Mike. I am, as Stacey is, the same thing everywhere. Fujito EX. If you see Fujito EX, it is probably me, except for that one guy on a Spanish computer hardware manufacturing forum who spells it all lowercase, the EX lowercase. That's not me. And I think he got really mad one day that there was someone else out there with the name Fujito EX. Like, bitch, I was there first. I was there a long time before you were. It's my name.
Before you were born.
So it's a possibility. www.kanzenshuu.com. That is kanzenshuu.com. This was episode 453 of our podcast. We will see you next time for episode 454. And yeah, we obviously in the month we were gone, we didn't get a GT episode, but we are back on track for doing the next GT review of Awesomeness, where we wrap up the baby arc. And Sean, we'll have you down for a GT episode at some point. Again, as you helped us kick it off so many years ago, maybe we'll have you back to do another one. So that's what's going on. I said all the things. What else do I need to say? Oh, right. So I'm Mike. We have Stacey here. That was Sean. We also have Jake, Julian, and Heath, and all of our associated contributors, most of whom were named or referenced at some point during this episode, perhaps before recording, during recording, maybe after recording. That's it. Stacey, wrap it up.
Oh, shit. I wasn't prepared for this.
No one ever is.
Better you than me.
完全集ザポッドキャストはご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
Sean, who are our sponsors?
Heat Tap?
Hit Tap, all right.
I don't know.
ZTV.
Okay. Syndicated through ZTV, sponsored by Hit Tap. I think that sums it up. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. What could possibly go wrong?